where you can actually feel at home, like you are in your own house. The restroom is equipped with jacuzzi, and the wardrobe is top-notch. Whatever you find in that master bedroom, I believe you will have the best. Then we have a well-equipped kitchen with electrical appliances.
The elegant 2 bedrooms diplomatic apartment is specially prepared for a smaller group of family, friends, or colleagues. Step into our spacious 1 bedroom executive suite just for your own maximum comfort. Cozy yourself up in our 1 bedroom deluxe suite. Then be all to yourself in our well-appointed studio room for that single room effect. All our apartments are exquisitely furnished and fit for purpose that make your stay memorable. A relaxation at number 10 Apartment Garden is an elixir of rest, entertainment, and instant satisfaction. Our 24 hours power supply, modern facility, all-round internet service, homemade aura, professional management, a strong culture of customer care, and excellent housekeeping make our guests the kings and queens in number 10 Apartment Kingdom. With a vision to deliver the best comfort and luxury, and a mission to provide a safe and serene accommodation, styled like your home, you are surely immersed in paradise. Number 10 Apartments, your maximum comfort and luxury, your safe haven, your serene habitat, makes your stay memorable and cradles you with unique hospitality. Welcome to number 10 Apartment, your nest of luxury.
From Harrison, that is a massive world record. Martinelli goes, boys, out of his goal. Martinelli, could be in here. This will be 3 for Arsenal.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
You're still watching Morning Dew on Dott TV, and this is the in-depth conversation segment. On August 27th, 1991, the Ibrahim Babangida administration had a major state creation exercise which saw the creation of Delta State, and there were other states created on the same day as well. We had Anambra State, Abia State, Adamawa State, Jigawa State, Kebbi, Kogi, Osun, Taraba, and Yobe states. Now, ladies, you're of course here. It's so good to be here still. Yeah, let's just backtrack a bit, because Nigeria started as 3 regions at independence in 1960. We had the northern, western, and eastern regions. And then a 4th was created in 1963. That was the Midwestern region. And in 1967, General Yakubu Gowon created 12 states, replacing the regions. And in 1976, General Murtala Mohammed increased the number to 19 states from 12.
Of course.
And in 1987, General Ibrahim Babangida created 2 more states, bringing the total to 21. And that was after which he created those states, which brought the number of states to 30 in 1991. In 1996, General Sani Abacha created 6 more states, bringing Nigeria to its current 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. So Nigeria moved from 3 regions to 36 states over a period of just 3 decades or more. Now, we have someone joining us on Zoom to give his thoughts about state creation in Nigeria and the dynamics of development, because people keep clamoring for states, but we're wondering, does the creation of more states automatically translate to more development, accelerated development, or do we need to rethink the very idea of state creation if our target is development? We're joined by Mr. Ifani Chukwafuba. He is of the Governance and Development Forge, ORCA, and of course, a public affairs analyst. It's good to have you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Happy
sir.
to
Good morning. My pleasure.
Good morning, sir.
Now, we looked at the history of state creation in Nigeria. You're a veteran journalist. I'm sure that you witnessed most of those milestones. So talk to us about what it was at those points and what led to those moves by the governments of the day over time. Can you hear us?
Faintly.
Okay. We know that Nigeria moved from 3 regions to 36
Yes.
states and the FCT. Talk to us about state creation in Nigeria so far. What has it been like? How have the dividends been felt? Or what are your thoughts around the idea of states creation generally?
Okay. State creation for many Nigerians is about facilitating development. It is about taking their destiny into their own hands. It is about advancing the interests of their areas. It is also about making governance go further to the grassroots. It is about bringing government closer to the people. It is about increasing development generally. So just like you said, that we have transited from 3 regions in the First Republic. Later it became 4 regions because the Midwest region was also created in the First Republic. Then we moved into the military era where we had 12 states that was created by the General Yakubu Gowon administration, and then to other military administrations. Because the 99% of state creation exercise in Nigeria has been done by the military. Apart from what you had in the First Republic, all other state creation exercises were conducted by the military. And that is partly because the provisions for state creation under the Constitution are very stringent, very stringent. It's very difficult to meet those criteria in a democratic setting. So that's why it has been the military that has been creating states. Now, at each point, you will find that there were clamor, agitations by different geopolitical areas, for states of their own. People feel that when they have a state of their own, they are better in charge of their own affairs. And I think, generally speaking, state creation has brought even if you don't call it development, modernization, it has made administration easier. It has given opportunities to the respective people of the different areas involved.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, it has given administrative ease and some benefits as well. But compared to when Nigeria was maybe 3 regions, and we are told, because we weren't there, that things were better, that the country was more, the dividends were more felt by people. People will finish school and have cars waiting for them on graduation. How come that now we have more states and we're in a deep economic crunch and our youths are leaving Nigeria?
Well, I think your question basically has to do with the state of the economy as well as leadership, issues of leadership. In the past, during, especially during General Yakubu Gowon's regime, which was from 1967, through the Civil War up to 1975, Nigeria experienced what was called the oil boom.
Okay.
That is to say that there were high demands for oil internationally, and not just that there were high demands, the price was high. Oil was selling well. Again, partly because about 1973, when we had the Arab-Israeli war, the Arab states declared the oil embargo against United States and Israel, triggering what became known as the energy crisis. So it was to the advantage of oil-producing nations like Nigeria.
Okay.
In fact, General Gowon at a time said that the problem of Nigeria was not money, but what to do with it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, it is one thing to have wealth, and it is another thing altogether what you do with your wealth. Historians, analysts, commentators are generally of the view that Nigeria did not manage her oil wealth well. A journalist made a television documentary in those days and titled it A Squandering of Riches. That Nigeria did not invest her oil earnings well. She did not industrialize. So, if the leadership did not have clear visions of how to generate wealth, manage wealth, and use it to satisfy the needs of the country, then it's only a matter of time and you begin to have economic problems, you begin to have social dislocations. And you know that leadership has been a critical question for this country. Whether you are talking of military government or civilian government, the people's view is that we have not done well enough. So I would say that if state creation has not satisfied the yearnings of people, then it is because the leadership has not done what it was supposed to do.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, so I would like to take us back memory lane, take us down memory lane. Of course, we have General Yakubu Gowon on May 27, 1967, moving Nigeria from 4 regions. We had the eastern region, the western region, and the northern region. And of course, later we had the midwestern region. So General Yakubu Gowon thought it a very smart move to move Nigeria from 4 regions to 12 states on May 27, 1967. He said his main reason was to decentralize, a power and break down autonomy in order to forestall the outbreak of the Civil War. But despite that move, the Civil War still started that same year. And of course, we know what trailed that event. Now, would you say that idea of decentralizing, and accommodating the different ethnic groups in Nigeria by creating additional states have been achieved to date? Or do you think we would have been better off left maybe at the 12-state level?
If you are talking in terms of opportunities, provision of social amenities, and so on, yes, you will see the gain, the benefit of decentralization. But you know that military rule is basically a unitary system of government. Over the years, because of the long years of military rule that Nigeria went through, we have gone back to centralization of power, of authority. The states today are weak compared to the powers of the federal government. We call it, we describe Nigeria as a federal republic. Okay? Yeah. But if you look at the Constitution, if you look at the 1999 Constitution as amended, which we are operating today, you find out that the state has the federal government, the center, has so much powers compared to what the states have. Many people are of the view, scholars are of the view that there's a problem with Nigeria's federalism, because a truly federal entity, the center doesn't have to be an overlord to the states. Both the federal government and the federating units, they both derive their powers from the Constitution, and there's an appreciable degree of autonomy for the states. It's only this year that we are debating and have started the preliminary steps towards having state police.
Yes.
In most federal constitutions, state police is a given. But it's only just now that we are trying to see how we can find such a system for us. So my point is that state creation by itself is not a guarantee for decentralization. If you want to assess how much that states, the extent of their empowerment, you look at the provisions of the Constitution, what you have in the exclusive list and the concurrent list. You find out that the exclusive list tends to drown out what you have in the concurrent list. So in terms of political authority, the states are not strong today in Nigeria. And I think it is the history of military rule is responsible for that.
Oh.
The authors of the present constitution, suffered from there was a carryover of military mentality.
Okay.
So that is how I look at issue of state creation and decentralization.
Okay, so citizens believe that smaller states get developed faster, and the governments become very accessible to the people. And you just said that the federal government has more power than the states. So if Nigeria were to be considered restructuring today, what would you recommend? More states, regional governments, or any other form of restructuring?
Yeah, the primary thing is to allow the component units of the federation enough room to be able to champion their affairs. When we had the regions in the First Republic, some people were of the view that the regions were too strong, to the extent that the federal government was being inhibited. That was partly the reason why these changes started coming over time. Yeah, but we have now gone to the other extreme, where the federal government is a behemoth and the states are very, very weak. So maybe what we should do now is to find a middle ground. Yes, just like you said, you talked about geopolitical zones having these states come together to form, not necessarily regional, we can't go back to that position.
System.
Yeah. But like I said, a middle ground that will give the states the wherewithal to really go back and make the necessary impact. And at the same time, the federal government will still be able to discharge her responsibilities. So since we are already talking about 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, yes, we can see how to make it work better. But at the end of the day, the states must be able to discharge such responsibilities that people feel the impact of governance. However, I want to add that if we want to tinker with the system we are running, it will not be enough for just the national, for just the national and state assemblies to assume that responsibility. No. This is a complex issue. This is a very demanding problem that requires wider consultation and input. So you might have to get into a kind of, well, if maybe if I use the term now, constituent assembly, it might not be well received by those who are currently in the legislature. But the point is, it's such a fundamental question that there should be an inclusive approach to it. There should be a way of allowing civil society to make their input so that whatever decision we come out with will be representative and enduring enough.
Okay.
Not after 2, 3, 4 years, we'll start all over again.
Okay. Now let's look at it from this perspective. We've heard a lot about how that the federal government is strong, and increasingly we've seen the state apparatus weakening. And that's because we know that the derivation every time the states are receiving allocations from the federal government, those receiving derivation like Delta State, where we are now. Of course, you joined us from Oka, Anambra State. So even during the Delta Economic and Investment Summit, the governor of Anambra State was in Delta State, and he said something about possible collaboration across the river between Delta and Anambra. And he described Delta State as our rich neighbors. So beyond regional cooperation, what are the prospects of states that have similar interests, maybe borders, coming together to push certain aspects of development, certain sectors that align with their locations or geographical strengths? Are these possible conversations that can be had?
Not just that the conversation is healthy, should continue, but beyond that, there are real prospects for making regional integration to work. That is to say, neighboring states or states that have common interests, that are bound by certain, interests, should be able to come together and work. Integration, that is the reason behind the international groupings you have, like ECOWAS, European Union, and so on and so forth. The principle is that when you put your resources together, when you collaborate, you are stronger. You have a greater push. And you also have a bigger market. So it is in the best interests of states with similar aspirations to see where they can embark on joint ventures. If you are talking of rail transportation, for instance, you discover that if you connect Anambra and Delta states, like you said, then it makes transportation of goods easier. It opens Onitsha market, to a wider constituency. So it is. There's no question about it. It's just that maybe we are still engrossed with providing basic amenities, because let's face it, take an issue of something like potable water, for instance. It's still a luxury in some states, in many cities. But this is something that should be a given. The same thing with health, So I believe that with time, as states are able to take care of their immediate needs, they will necessarily see the need to expand, join hands together, and tackle common issues frontally.
Okay, now let's also talk about the challenges, because individual states have challenges militating against economic viability. Each time we talk about maybe Delta State, everyone is talking about, oh, the coastal line is the second longest in Nigeria. There is viable blue economy. You know, a lot can happen in Delta. There's the steel company. There's also the possibility of textile and all of that. But we're not exploring this potential. So can you talk to us about some of the reasons why states in Nigeria are not maximizing their full potentials?
There could be a number of reasons. One of which I think would be inconsistency in policies. If in a certain state, the governor spends 4 years and does not come back after his first tenure, and the new governor comes in and feels, well, I have my own programs which are not inferior to those of my predecessor, so I'll run my own programs, and there is no continuity from where the last person stopped. You are creating inconsistency in policies. And this is a problem for investors. Investors want a field that is predictable, a field that is where things are clearly defined, where there are long-term rules, if you like. So the continued changes in policy will be a factor in our not, having realized our potentials. Then the other one, which we must not shy away from it, is that corruption is a problem in Nigeria. It's a major headache. It's a major headache. And when we talk about corruption, it's not just about government. It permeates every sector, public sector, private sector, even civil servants. So it's difficult to have development in a disorderly environment where the system is not working well, where you have impunity, where you have this, all sorts of disruptions.
Oh, okay. We lost a bit of the signal, but we believe that he'll be back to continue from there. First, he talked to us about policy inconsistency, from government to government. When a governor comes up to decide that he has a plan, that is different from what his predecessor has, but that his own is not inferior to that of his predecessor. So why don't I jettison?
I love that thing he said too about continuity. We have that problem. I won't call it a problem, but have that challenge.
It's a challenge.
We have a challenge. Yes, a major one in Nigeria, where one particular government that is ruling at a particular stretch of time comes up with this very beautiful and laudable project, and they try as much as they can to implement some of this. But of course, a period of 4 years or 8 years, as it may be, sometimes might not be enough. So you find this person leaves the blueprints of how to execute this project, and the funds allocated to it, and of course the people or companies who are allocated to this, and to make sure that this project sees the light of the day. And then his tenure ends and another government comes in, and he feels, I have my own project too, so let's set this aside. So we have continuity problem.
Yes, it is really a serious challenge here. Like you said, leaving the blueprint of how that project should continue and run. If they have the blueprint there, yeah. But every government that comes in comes with their own idea, and they believe theirs, supersedes any other idea, or it is more beneficiary. But we want to see states whereby if there are beautiful legacy projects done, the next government should try as much as possible to continue to have a follow-up with those.
Bring it to conclusion.
Yes, bring them into completion, and see them beneficiary to the citizens.
What do you then say about certain governors who would come in and decide to construct something that is already existing, to duplicate it, just so that they have their name to that new project, even when it already existed in the state? So we've also seen duplications like that. So it means that our development hasn't been people-driven. It hasn't been all about the welfare of. It's been about people, ego,
them.
That reminds me of a conversation.
Yes,
the conversation I was having with someone recent, and then we had this situation play out. I think we stumbled on this video.
Mr. Ifeanyi Afuba is back. Mr. Ifeanyi Afuba is of Governance and Development Forge. Okay, thank you so much, sir. We are glad to have you back. You were talking about corruption and how that it is endemic. Please go ahead.
Yes, good to be back. Yes, I was saying that we've not yet dealt with the monster of corruption in this country, and it has continued to make meaningful development an uphill task. People, to combat corruption, you need both stringent legislations, values recreation, and a strengthening of institutions. If our institutions, for instance, the judiciary and other tools of governance are robust, they are strong enough, and they are financially independent, then it will be easier. It will be easier for them to escape the influence of government. The courts should not only dispense justice, but be seen to be dispensing justice. If you are talking of the electoral body, Nigerians want to see an electoral body that is independent in all ramifications. If the electoral body is independent, then people will have confidence in the electoral system. And when people have the confidence in the electoral system, you don't even need to tell them to come out and vote. Delay in traffic on the roads. And before you know it, about 6-8 lanes have been formed. And there is complete standstill. Everybody is in a hurry. Everybody wants to have the upper hand. No sense society works like that. There must be law and order. And that is where leadership is very important. Because the leadership is in a better position to engineer social change. A committed leadership has all it takes to instill sanity into the system. When people are being made, when offenders are being made to pay for their transgressions, and the levers of government are working when you have sanity in society, people will know. So the leadership is better placed to give us this ethical or social revolution that Nigeria is in dire need of. When they set the pace, people will follow. But when there's ambiguity, when people do not see the firm and bold steps towards discipline, it's much more difficult for the followership to bring about social change. It is possible, but all I'm saying is that it's a much more difficult task. But the leadership has the advantage of machinery of government, which is quite a lot. So we'll continue to make efforts. We'll continue to make our agitations. We'll continue to play our part and hope that somewhere along the line, the right buttons will click.
Based on history that we have on ground, that this state creation spanning from the period of 1967 down to the time it lasted before we went into the civilian period away from the military regime. We have established the fact that all the states were created by military rulers. Most of them were created by military rulers in Nigeria. But from 1999, where we step into that beautiful breathing air of civilian rulership in Nigeria, down to this day, would you say that we have made notable progress in Nigeria, moving from baby or crawling democracy, like some would term it back then when it started in 1999 up to this time? I'm asking this question because I know that as a veteran journalist, you've had a lot of experiences, or you have a lot of experience, looking at you covering some of this administration from your profession. So would you say from 1999 till date, we have made notable progress?
No. I am of the view that we have underperformed. The Fourth Republic, the opportunity of the present republic, if, with the benefit of hindsight, there are lots of lessons we should have learned from the past to help us make better progress in the present dispensation. You know that the Constitution, this 1991 Constitution that has been amended a few places was a creation of the military. It was the military that gave us that Constitution. And at the time that the Fourth Republic was being midwifed, there wasn't transparency about the production of that Constitution. That Constitution cannot thrive in a real democracy. There are so many impediments. There are so many anti-democratic provisions built into that.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We would like for it to be brief so that we can let you go. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am disappointed that up till now, we are still running that Constitution up to this point. That is one. We are still operating the outdated and anti-state revenue derivation formula that was brought in by the military. I think states the 36 states are entitled to about, I think about 26% of the federal revenue, national revenue. That is a recipe for underdevelopment. It is in the states that you have development. It's not at the center. It is the states that need the money to cater for Nigeria. How many people are living in Abuja compared with the rest of the Nigeria? Still have, such ambitions.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So we could have done better. We just could have done better.
We just
There's no
could
doubt
have. And just to add to the fact that we could have done better as we let you go, we know that there are 46 formal requests for creation of new states, pending. And in this part of the country, we have a request for the creation of Adada State, Aba State, Olu State, Orishi State, Etiti State, and of course,
Anioma State.
Yes, and Ibadan. Ibadan is also asking for one.
Yeah, in this part of the country.
In Oyo State. Yes.
No, we're talking about, we're limiting it to this part of the country, south, southeast. And then you know that all of these requests have been made. Then generally across the country, we have 46 requests pending. That's to tell you, but of course, we see how far we've come. So, and under democracy, under civilian rule, it's not a walk in the park. Thank you so much, Mr. Ifeanyi Chukwu Afoba of the Governance and Development Forge, OCA, for joining us this morning and for your exhaustive analysis of the issues surrounding state creation in Nigeria and the dynamics of development. Thank you. Wish you a beautiful day.
Mr. Afoba.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
That's,
you guys are doing great. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much, sir. We wish you a beautiful day and we look forward to having you again. Morning Dew is not done yet because we have something you would enjoy. Stay with us. We'll be back with it.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Metropolis, full of life, business, work, and the nerve center of Delta State government. Visitors throng the city of Asaba on daily basis to do business, have
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, this is still Morning Dew, and as we promised, we have something interesting. It's time to go to class. Good morning, Frafra.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Bonjour,
Thank you.
mademoiselle.
Bonjour, madame.
Good morning. you're
Mademoiselle
welcome.
aussi.
Mademoiselle.
Okay.
Madame.
Bonjour, madame. Bonjour, bonjour, et bonjour à tous.
Tell us the difference, because you're comparing between your
Madame
and
mademoiselle.
Yes, I noticed
Okay,
that
like
too.
now, there's no ring in my hands.
Yes.
I'm mademoiselle. Mix.
Okay.
Madam, a married woman.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Then when you say la dame, there's another one, la dame. La dame is a lady. That kind of
Thick
boxy.
madam.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
boxy.
So
Like-
it can also be a married woman?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And
It
it can also be a mix.
as well.
Okay.
In
But what's
French,
your...
sometimes French people don't like when they call them madam.
Really, they don't?
Yes, they like when they call them la dame.
Yes.
It gives them
That's
this
what
kind
I
of
prefer. Yeah, like a
sweet,
dame.
sweet
Okay,
name
okay.
and vibe.
All right, so let's get on with it.
Bon, merci et bonjour à tous. Salut, salut. Comment vous allez? How are you? Hello, hello. Comme d'habitude, mon nom, je m'appelle Mademoiselle Anthony, ou bien Antoine Françoise Francisca. Yes, if you can look at my back, that's my name at the back, right, Ton? No, next time you see it, okay? Yes. Mais j'aime comme vous m'appelez, Fra, c'est mon nom. Oui. Soyez le bienvenu sur notre programme de français pour le débutant. Yes, welcoming you to our very own program, French for the beginners. Yes, aujourd'hui, c'est le date. Aujourd'hui, c'est le 27. Oui, le 27 août. Remember, we did date, months, and the rest. Aujourd'hui, c'est le jeudi, Thursday, le 27 août, 27th of August 2026. Yes, 2026. Et comme la fois passée, on a fait beaucoup de choses. Last time we did a lot of tough, sweet things. And what are they? Yes, let's go back to what we did last time. That's a recap of what we did last time. Yes, on a fait la famille. La famille. La famille is the family. And what are the family here? We have already we know them. Then first of all, la famille is what? La famille. Mother, la mère. Father, le père. Les parents, the parents. Le fils, son. La fille, daughter. Les enfants, children. Then we now enter to la famille, like extended family. We have le frère, brother, la sœur, sister, le frère, you see, like la grande sœur, la grand-mère. That's what brings about the new topic of today, which is what? Let it just come up. Today's topic is les objets dans la maison. Yes. Les objets dans la maison. As I said, let us open the doors of the family. We already know the family, and we are not entering inside. Yes. Les objets dans la maison. And what are they? Le salon. Yes. The living room. First of all, we enter inside. If you enter in a building, the first thing you see is the sitting room, right? Oui. Aujourd'hui, on a un canapé. Répétez après moi, s'il vous plaît. Repeat after me, please. Lentement, slowly, doucement, quietly. On y va. Let us go. Un canapé.
Canapé.
A sofa, right? Yes. Un canapé. Un canapé. Un fauteuil. Un fauteuil. Et armchair. An armchair, yes. Une chaise. Une chaise. See, chaise, not chaise. une chaise, a chair, une table basse, a coffee table. Une télévision, a television or TV, yes, un miroir, un miroir, a mirror. We are now moving forward. We say we are having, nous avons un tableau, un tableau, un tableau. There's a reason between un tableau and un tableau. Un tableau is a table, while un tableau is a board. All these designers' board, you can put it in your house. Yes, as you can see from the screen. Yes, maybe a painting board or a picture board. Yes. When nous avons un rideau, a curtain, un tapis, a carpet or a rug. Yes. Une lampe, a lamp. Even from the spelling, une lampe, a lamp. Une horloge, that H is silent, that H is silent, the edge. Horloge, une horloge, a clock. Un cousin, a what? Curtain. Voila. Then we are moving forward to la cuisine. La cuisine. We are entering the kitchen because you can't do without kitchen in the house. Yes, you can, right? Okay, nous avons une assiette. Une assiette, a plate, un bowl, a bowl, une tasse, a cup, un verre, a glass, une fourchette, a fork, un couteau, un couteau, a knife, une cuillère, a spoon, une cassette. Yes, we have again un poêle. Yes, nous avons une cuisinière, a cooking gas or a stove. Une cuisinière, la cuisine itself is a kitchen, la cuisine. Then we have une cuisinière, which is a cooker or a stove. We have un four, which is an oven. Oui, un réfrigérateur, which is a fridge. Yes, a refrigerator, a fridge. We have une bouteille, a bottle. We have une poubelle, a bin or a trash can. Nous avons aussi une éponge, a sponge. That's the kitchen for you. That's all you have for the kitchen. Et aujourd'hui, la chambre, in the room. Can you do without room in your house? No, no, no. Nous avons un joli chose dans la chambre. We have beautiful things in the room. And number one of them is un lit, a bed, un lit. Nous avons une une mattress. Oui, une mattress is a mattress. Yes, a bed. You can call it a mattress too, or a net, anyone, kind of a mat. Yeah, nous avons un oreille. An oreille is there. And what next? Nous avons une couverture, a blanket. Une couverture, we have it, which is a blanket. Un couverture, un couverture. Une couverture, nous avons un drap, which is a sheet, like bed sheet, yes. Un drap, a bed sheet. Nous avons une armoire. Une armoire means what? Is a wardrobe. Nous avons une commande. A cat or like a shut of drawers. Yes. Nous avons une coiffeuse, which is a what? A dressing table. Yes. Nous avons a dressing table. And nous avons encore un réveil. That one alone cannot do it. If I can't do it, that's it. An alarm clock. Sometimes, sometimes just sleep up, but you need that alarm. Un réveil. Green, green, green. You wake up. Un réveil. Nous avons une fenêtre. Une fenêtre. A window. Et une porte. Et door. Yes.
Indoor.
Oui, une door. Une porte, a door. One thing about French, they are masculine and feminine. Anyone you see, une, it's a feminine. And if you see un, it's a masculine. That's why une, on. Plenty, like they are much. And we can't do without masculine and feminine. Let's go to our number 2 view, please. Yeah, we still continue. Our number 2, this is the house vocabularies. Yes, you can just say canapé, as we say, is sofa, tableau, table, image, picture, étagère, shelf, chaise, chair, tapis, carpet, livre, book, lamp, lamp. Because the E is there. Lamp. Musquet, mosque, lit, bed, armoire, wardrobe, tiroir, drawer, bureau, desk, television, TV, refrigerator, fridge, cuisinière, stove, évier, sink. That sink, yes, is always in the kitchen. Évier, c'est prononcé comme évier, sink. Oui, évier. Miroir, rideau, curtain. The third one, please. Okay, let us just round up right now with the third one. Let us see. These are objects at home already. These are the pictures we are already seeing there. Yes. Please, the third one, the fourth one, the picture, the last one. Thank you. These are the objects de la maison. Un capi, télévision, everything is just there. Okay, this is where we wrap up for today. Merci pour aujourd'hui et on va continuer la semaine prochaine qui vient. Merci, mes chers téléspectateurs. Je m'appelle Frafra.
Thank you so much, Francisca Anthony, for bringing us this dose of French. We learned so much. And of course, we're rounding off now on Morning Dew today. But today has been a great one. We started with the conversation, the analysis earlier with Mr. Chochwe Oyowe, where he talked to us about some of the topical stories shaping the polity at this time. And then we progress with a conversation around state creation in Nigeria and the developmental dynamics of it. And ladies, what are the learnings you've taken briefly before we round up?
Okay, so for me, the height of it was when we had Mr. Afuba, the veteran journalist, looking at the issue of state creation and how, despite the fact we've had years, in the pocket from the starting of civilian rule till now, we are not there yet. As a matter of fact, we're falling behind, and we need to do a lot. And he talked about continuity, in governance, so we don't start having white elephant project every time. So it's been a full packed day, and we've learned a lot.
Yes, and it's a beautiful day. Also having today as a 35th anniversary for Delta State, and we hope that this is just the beginning for Delta State, and we head to greater heights. And we say thank you for staying with us on Morning Dew. I am Success Benjamin,
and my name is Priska Abamba.
My name is Ife Aaron, and from Delta State, we're wishing Deltans a happy 35th anniversary. And of course, to other states that are celebrating today, may this 35th be the beginning of greater things. Everyone who's watched, let's keep asking important questions and let the conversations continue. Morning Dew will be back tomorrow for the weekend edition. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.